Today, we're talking about something pretty amazing, an invisible technology that keeps billion-dollar projects from screeching to a halt. It's a quiet revolution in industrial safety, and it's called SafeRad.
So, let me ask you a question. Just picture a huge construction site, right? You've got cranes swinging around, welders sparking, people moving everywhere. How in the world do you perform a critical safety check, like X-raying a pipe weld, without shutting the entire place down?
Well, for decades, the answer was pretty drastic. You had to stop everything. A massive exclusion zone was set up, and every single person had to be evacuated. It was a huge, expensive disruption.
And that really gets us to the heart of the matter, what we can call the industrial shutdown problem.
I mean, think about the ripple effects here. Every single minute a multi-million-dollar project is on pause, the costs just skyrocket. So, stopping work for radiography isn't just a little inconvenience. We're talking about serious financial losses and huge project delays. There just had to be a better way, right?
Well, there is. And this brings us to the innovation that just completely flips the script, a new kind of radiography. And here it is, meet SafeRad. This is the system that's designed for what they call close proximity radiography. It's the tech that lets technicians do what everyone once thought was totally impossible. X-ray that pipe while everybody else just keeps on working, totally safe, just a few feet away.
You know, what's really clever is the method they came up with, which they call SAFER. And that stands for Small Area for Exposure Radiography. The name pretty much tells you everything you need to know. The whole idea is to contain that radiation exposure to one tiny, controlled, and totally safe area. And this really gets to their main goal, to take that disruptive, stop-everything process of old-school radiography and turn it into just another productive task, one that can happen right alongside everything else without anyone missing a beat.
Okay, so the big question is, how does it actually pull this off? Let's dive into the specifics of how SafeRad actually works.
I mean, the system claims a really impressive list of achievements. We're talking about incredible radiation safety, literally zero downtime during the imaging sessions, which, of course, means construction gets done faster, saving a ton of money. And on top of all that, it gives you better quality images, it works on any size of pipework, and it's even great for things like monitoring for corrosion. It's really the whole package. And here's the magic number. Get this, 1.5 meters. The safety barriers can be set up just 1.5 meters away from the source, sometimes even closer. That incredibly small footprint is what lets other people keep doing their jobs practically right next to the inspection.
Okay, so is it actually safe for people working that close? Well, this is the critical piece of data. The radiation exposure at that 1.5 meter barrier is less than 7.5 microsieverts per hour. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that is an internationally recognized safe level of background radiation. It basically means work can continue completely unimpeded.
So, you combine that tiny safety zone with those verified low exposure levels, and what do you get? Well, you get the ability to do radiography 24 hours a day, continuously, with absolutely zero interference to any other work on site. It's a total game changer for the timeline and the budget of any major project.
Now, all this sounds incredible, maybe a little too good to be true. But what's the proof? And that brings us to our last section here, the impact and the proof.
Well, right off the bat, you can see this isn't just a company making promises in a slick brochure. The technology and all its safety claims have been formally demonstrated to the UK's Health and Safety Executive, that's the HSE, and the National Radiological Protection Board. We're talking about a serious level of regulatory validation here.
And when you put it side by side like this, the difference is just, well, it's night and day. With traditional methods, you've got evacuations, halted operations, and tons of downtime. With SafeRad, zero evacuations, continuous operations, and no interference. It's a completely different way of working.
And the recognition didn't just stop with the safety boards. SafeRad also won the UK's very prestigious SMART Award for innovation, and not just once, but 2 years in a row. That really tells you just how significant this technology was considered to be, right from the very beginning. You know, a technology like SafeRad isn't just some new tool. It fundamentally changes how our most essential industries operate, making them so much safer and more efficient. It really makes you wonder, what other invisible innovations are out there, quietly making our world better every single day?